Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the studies. Uh, we studied yesterday about the fundamental rights as it is given in our constitution. We discussed about the meaning of fundamental rights, its need and importance was also discussed, and then we also try to understand the difference between legal rights and fundamental rights. And then we did a type of comparative study of the fundamental rights which are given in the Indian Constitution and in the Constitution of South Africa. Now we are proceeding further. Actually, as I told you yesterday also, that Indian Constitution gives six types of fundamental rights to the people of India. These are given here: uh, right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, and right to constitutional remedies. These are the six fundamental rights. Actually, there was one more fundamental rights that was right to property, but now it has been sifted from the list of fundamental rights to legal rights. That will be discussed later. So we will start with our first right, that is right to equality. Right to equality is very much familiar to you. Our constitution gives variety of rights in the sphere of equality. And in order to understand the importance of equality, we can think of the two different situations which are imaginary, though these situations which are given in your notebook is imaginary situation, but it's not like that this type of situation does not arise in the practical life. Actually, this type of incidents happens in our day to day life, and it is very much normal. We experience this type of things in our day to day life. So the first situation is this is the first situation. Swades Kumar is visiting his village. He is accompanied by one of his friends. They decided to have a cup of tea at the village roadside hotel. The shopkeeper knew Swades Kumar but asked the name of his friend to know his caste. After this, the shopkeeper served tea to Swades Kumar in a nice mug, while his friend was given tea in an earthen cup because he was Dalit. So, in this in this example, what we find that tea stall, which is a public place, at that public place, the owner is discriminating between two people on the basis of caste. The person who does not belong to Dalit community is being given tea in a mug, and the person who belongs to Dalit community is given tea in an earthen cup. So this is a kind of discrimination which is based on caste. And the another situation is this. Another example is this: an order is served to four news readers of a television channel that they would no longer read the news on a screen. They are all women. The reason given is that they are above the age of 45. Two male news readers above the same age are not barred from presenting the news. So in this example, what we find is that there is discrimination is being done on the basis of gender. Only women news readers above the age of 45 are being stopped by the news channel um, to read the news. They are stopped from for that word. And male members are not stopped. They are not barred from presenting the news. So this is the discrimination on the basis of gender. And this type of situation is highly undesirable, especially for that group which which suffers because of this discrimination. Okay, so right to equality means that there should not be any kind of discrimination, and our constitution makes provision for this. There is under this right to equality, our constitution provides that public places like shops, hotels, places of entertainment, wells, bathing ghats, and places of worship, all these public places are equally accessible to all. It means no one can stop anyone on the basis of caste, on the basis of gender, on the basis of mm, uh, religion, on the basis of race or creed or anything. Not on any basis, anyone cannot stop anyone from accessing, from going to these places, these public places. Okay, and it also prohibits any discrimination in public employment on any of the above mentioned basis. The employment, public employment, the in government jobs also, there cannot be any kind of discrimination on the basis of caste, religion, gender, race, or place of birth. There cannot be any kind of discrimination. The government employment is open to all in the same manner. There is only criteria is the of age and educational qualification. Okay, so in this way, mm our constitution provides equal access to all. This right is very much important in the context of our country, because before independence, in our country there existed a high level of discrimination on the basis of caste. The Dalits were considered they were considered so low that they were not allowed to they were not allowed in the public places, and that is the reason that Dalits were not able to get education, because they were not allowed to be in the school. So in this way, our society was based on the caste discrimination, and there was a group that is the people belonging to Dalits were the worst sufferer, and that is the reason why our constitution makers were very much particular about incorporating this fundamental right in the constitution, that no one can stop anyone from reaching or from entering or from accessing the public places, and public employment is open to all. So then another problem which was very much prevalent in the Indian society before independence was the practice of untouchability, which is the one of the crudest manifestation of inequality. This is the very uh, unethical and immoral kind of act which was in practice in India and the sufferer were of course the Dalits, the so-called mm, lower caste of the society were considered as untouchable. But under the constitution of India, this inequality, this type of inequality was totally prohibited. Our constitution abolished untouchability. Okay, and it is also one of the provisions of the Constitution under the right to equality that the state shall confer no title on a person except those who excel themselves in military or academic field. The state, you know the meaning of the state. The state will not give any kind of title to any person. Okay. In ancient time, during the British rule also, people used to get many kind of titles. This is Rai Sahab, Rai Chaudhries. These were the title given only on the basis of economic condition. Economically influenced people were given this type of title. But after independence and under the new constitution, our constitution prohibited the state government from giving any kind of title to any person. Only title in two fields. If a person excels in two fields, either in military or in academic, then only he will be given a title. Otherwise he will not be given any title. And in academic fields, such as someone is given the title of doctor by when he completes his PhD, and likewise in military also people get titles. So they will get title only when they excel themselves in military or academic field, not for any other reason. They will be given the title. So right to equality is based on the principle that all are equal, and the state has no right to treat them unequally. A state is there to treat them equally, and this is very much important to ensure the dignity of the people. We will lose our dignity if the state or any organization or any person discriminate with us on the basis of gender or caste or religion or anything. If we are being discriminated by anyone, be it a person, be it a private organization or government itself, anyone, if anyone discriminate against us and against anybody, then that person, the dignity of that person will be loosened. So in order to ensure a sense of uh, dignity, it is very much important to treat everyone equally. Just consider this type of situation. Suppose in a family or in a classroom, if a teacher discriminate between his or her two students, and on the basis of caste, the student who belongs to upper caste is given special treatment, and the student who belongs to lower caste is discriminated against, then what will happen? The student who belongs to lower caste will feel that his or her dignity will be hurt. So it is very much important to provide right to equality to all. And right to equality is the basis of democracy, because democracy is based on the principle of equality. Democracy is the government of the people. If all the people are not equal, then there will not be any meaning of democracy. So democracy is based on this concept of equality. Okay, in our constitution, in the preamble itself, we find it that there is mention of equality, and in preamble, our preamble mentions two types of equality. The one is equality of status, and another one is equality of opportunity. Equality of status means all people are equal in spite of being unequal in terms of caste, in terms of religion, in terms of economic status, in terms of gender. Though we are unequal in all these terms, still we should be treated equally by the state. We must have equality of status. And the second one, which is mentioned in the preamble, is equality of opportunity. Equality of opportunity means that all the sections of the society enjoy equal opportunity. There should not be any kind of discrimination. All the people, all the sections of the society should enjoy equal opportunity. Okay, it means such as government jobs and admissions are there. Admission in government institutions or government aided private institutions, all are equal. Okay? In government jobs, the jobs are open to all in an equal manner. But here, one thing which is very much important to understand. For that, I'm reading this article 16 clause 4. It is here, it is written in your book. I am reading the text. Article 16, Clause 4. Nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any provision for the reservation of appointments or posts in favor of any backward class of citizens which, in the opinion of the state, is not adequately represented in the services under the state. So, this is the article which is the basis, which provides basis for the reservation policy which was adopted by the government. And many of you, I just know this kind of feeling is always there. Many of you must be very dissatisfied with this reservation policy of the government. But here, you must know the basic reason behind the adoption of this reservation policy by the government. Why government adopted this policy? Okay, so first of all, you should understand what is the meaning of equality of opportunity. Matlab, it means that all the government jobs, appointment to all the government jobs, and admission to all the government educational institutions is open to all. Everyone has equal opportunity. But the state has been given the power by the constitution that the state can make provision for the reservation of appointment. It can reserve some seats for in some seats in the government jobs, some seats of the government jobs, or and some seats in the educational institute. It can reserve some seats in the government jobs and some seats in the educational institute for that group or for that class of society which it it thinks, which it thinks that is not represented uh, adequately in the services or in the institutions. So it means कि government has been given the right to reservation, right to reserve some seats for the backward class in government jobs and in educational institutions. Here you must know that this Article 16 Clause 4 is not against the equality of opportunity, because many times it is said that this policy of reservation is against the equality of opportunity, right to equality of opportunity. If you are giving all the people equal right, uh, equal opportunity, right to equal opportunity, then you should not give reservation for anyone. It is not correct to say this argument is not correct, because when we are giving all the person equality of opportunity, then what should be the condition of the society, that all the people, all the sections of the society should be in the same condition. Here what we find that in our society before independence, in our society there were so-called lower caste were not allowed to access public places, and for that reason they were not able to get education. And on the other hand, the people belonging to the so-called upper caste of the society were easily going to school and getting education. So in this way, what happened that the Dalits uh, lagged behind in terms of education. They were very much behind the upper caste, because they were not allowed to go in the school. And now when we got independence, we were making our new constitution. It was considered that if now we give only equality of opportunity to all, then it will be a kind of injustice towards the so-called lower caste of the society, because their condition is not similar. They are not able to go to school. They are not educated. Their all the ancestors were never went to school, but the upper caste is able to went to school and they are highly educated. In this case, in order to make them equal in real terms, in order to improve the condition of the lower caste, it was very much important to provide them some kind of reservation, and for that purpose only reservation was given to the uh, so-called lower caste of the society. So it is not a violation of right to equality. It is not against anyone, but it is for the development of a particular section of the society. So it is this inequality is being done in order to gain some positive result, in order to eradicate, in order to remove the inequality in the society. Okay, so in order to remove the inequality in the society, this kind of unequal treatment is being given by the state. So it is not, it cannot be considered as a violation of right to equality. Okay, now you are given a situation, you are the judge, you have to take some decisions. So what is the condition? You have received a postcard from Hadi Bandhu, who identifies himself as a member of the Dalit community in Puri district in Odisha. ठीक है? Men from this community refused to follow a custom that required them to wash the feet of the groom and guest of the upper caste during marriage ceremonies. In revenge, four women from this community were beaten up and another was paraded naked. The postcard writer says our children are educated and they are not willing to do the customary job of washing the feet of the upper caste men, clear the leftovers after the marriage feast, and wash the utensils. Assuming that the facts given above are correct, you have to decide, does this case involve violation of fundamental rights? What would you order the government to do in this case? So, you are a judge, and before you case has come under which you are seeing that a person has written in the postcard that he is a member of Dalit community, and that community has had to perform a custom according to which they wash the feet of the groom and guest of the upper caste during marriage ceremonies. But it was the practice was going on peacefully, but with the passage of time, what happened that the people of this Dalit community are now getting education, and this education has broadened their mind, and now they are not ready to perform this practice. And when they refused to do this practice, what happened that those upper caste people took revenge by beating up the women of that community and paraded another one naked. This kind of treatment was done by the upper caste people. So now, as a judge, what do you think? Is this does this case involve violation of fundamental rights? Yes, of course, this is the violation of fundamental rights, that and that right is right to equality. All are equal in the eyes of law. No one is. There should not be any discrimination. So no one can be forced to wash the feet of someone, and no one can be forced to uh, mm, mm, uh, wash the utensils. So this is complete violation of the right to equality. And what would you order the government to do in this case? What the government should do? What you order the government to do? You order the government to ensure that this practice should come to an end, and people should be treated equally, and the government must ensure all these things. So this kind of situation is really existing there in our, especially in our villages. This type of story you have also went through in your class 8th SST book, and that was civics. So these are very much these things are happening in our society. ठीक है तो in this type of inequality is not acceptable, and our constitution provide us right to equality, and we must raise our voice against this kind of inequality. Now we come to another right, and that is right to freedom. Article 21 says that protection of life and personal liberty. No person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. It means कि every person has a right to life, okay, and personal liberties, and no one can take anyone's life or personal liberty without the procedure that is established by law. Only the procedure established by law can deprive a person of his life or his personal liberty. Okay? Here, one thing you must understand that right, equality and freedom, equality and liberty both are related to each other. Equality without freedom is meaningless, and freedom without equality is also meaningless. Suppose if freedom is there, everyone is free, but what we find that everyone is free, okay, and in this connection what we find that every person is able to enjoy, will not be able to enjoy his or her freedom, because in that case what will happen that the person who are more powerful will will be in the condition to enjoy the freedom, and the person who are less powerful will not be able to enjoy the freedom. So it is very much important that freedom should be mm, there with equality. Both are equally important, and both are the basis of democracy. Democracy is meaningless in the absence of liberty and equality. Okay, so liberty means freedom of thought, expression, and action. However, it does not mean freedom to do anything that one desires or likes, isn't it? If liberty means ki you can do anything, you think that liberty, I have freedom, right to freedom. It means that I can do anything. Then you are completely wrong. In that case, what I told earlier, that everyone will not be able to enjoy the liberty. Okay, it does not mean freedom to do anything that one desires or likes. If that were to be permitted, then a large number of people will not be able to enjoy their freedom. Therefore, freedoms are defined in such a manner that every person will enjoy her freedom without threatening freedom of others and without endangering the law and order situation. So, freedom is given in such a manner that everyone is equally can equally enjoy that freedom, and that too without endangering the law and order situation. So uh, mm, in the next class we will read study about different types of freedom which is given by our constitution, and for today this is your uh, this much is enough. Okay.